Welcome, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm now going to read from the Open Public Meeting Statement. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975, be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting in the Bulletin Board Town Hall and serving the officially designated newspapers. A notice stating that this meeting would take place at the Board of Education building in 437 Melbourne in Melbourne on November 6, 2025. Sarah Wilson.
Allison Canfield,
Here.
Zachary Davis,
Here.
Robert Frankel, Brad Jenkins,
Here.
Gary Rosen,
Here.
Justin Salin, Elizabeth Wenga,
Here.
Christine Best, Venkatesh Chatlavada.
Here.
And just for the record, Christine Beth will be late, but she will be here. So we'll announce that. Thank you. Do any of the commissioners or council have any announcements they'd like to make this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to meeting minutes. The minutes of the September 4th meeting have been distributed to the commissioners. Are there any additions or corrections? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes have been approved. Thank you. We'll move on to memorializations from September 4th. This was application number 588, 17 Highland Avenue. Do I hear a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
And second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. So unfinished business. We have no unfinished business for this evening. So we are moving quickly through this application. So we have 4 applications this evening. So our first application is number 620, 67 Myrtle Avenue, block 206, lot number 12. It's a non-contributing property in the Wyoming Historic District. This is a regulatory application to construct second floor and rear house addition and other associated exterior site improvements, etc. If we could have the applicants and any professionals for this application sworn in by our attorney. So, hi, Tom.
Good evening.
Anyone who will be speaking?
No, just me.
Anyone else? Okay, perfect.
And if one does speak, we can swear.
Okay. Catherine?
Okay, can you state your name for the record, please?
Sure, Thomas Baio, B-A-I-O, architect for the applicant, Ettringer Development, representing the applications of 67 Myrtle Avenue. This
Okay.
evening, I'm gonna have a few exhibits.
Do you swear the testimony you're gonna provide this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay.
I may proceed.
Yes.
So this evening, I'll be laying forth what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish. Some clarifications in terms of how Bart had requested, give a little testimony on what we're doing with the driveway. I have some samples of building materials and colors, and I'll do that as a handout. And so I'll proceed now. First of all, I represent the builder developer who's here sitting next to me tonight. They formerly were before your commission for 48 Linden Street. They're speculative builders, but have a desire to really improve the vernacular of some of the areas, particularly in Wyoming Avenue, the Wyoming section. So when this Myrtle Avenue came up, and the presentation should hold, Myrtle Avenue is it's effectively a raised ranch built circa 1950. It is very nondescript. The red, white, and blue, red brick, white trim, white windows, and blue background sort of stand out because the Wyoming section had much more muted colors with some of the historic and charming structures. So I'm going to start with getting into, rather than presenting the plans, which you I'm sure have all seen, I'm going to explain what we're doing with the driveways. That came up first. So I have an exhibit. Do I mark this exhibit?
Yes, please.
So I'll mark this exhibit A1. And today's date, November 6th, 2025. This is an overlay drawing I did on the existing picture, which I obtained from Google Maps, that shows that we're sliding the existing driveway over. Probably not increasing in size very much. I doubt it is, because right now, about 8 or 9 feet of driveway exist on the left side of the garage door, and we intend to eliminate that parking
One
space.
second, this is Matt, is there extra copy for
No,
Matt?
but I can give him my original.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
standing
thank
in
you,
for
sir.
Bart and Ross.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Matt.
Nice to meet you as well.
So, the intent is to have a second garage door introduced, and it's very simple. We're gonna move the driveway that's right now leading to, the staircase and one door over to the right 10 feet. The structure that we're moving closer to is the detached garage of the home that's on Cypress, Street. So this is behind the backyard of the corner house on Cypress and behind its detached garage. So it's a fairly, unoffensive, expansion of the driveway. The style that we chose to do for this new construction, really did try to pick up on the vernacular of the area, and I'll explain what that is. Our design calls for, and I just put an exhibit up here, which I'll do a handout on.
Tom, do you have was that in our packet?
Oh, no, I colored the elevation that's in your package. So this is the building elevation from your package,
Okay.
and I colored it, so it's gonna be exhibit A2.
That's what's my next question. You're ahead of me.
One. Short one. Sorry, I ran out, but I'll show you can see my.
No worries.
So the idea is to add a level, to keep a majority of the structure. We're gonna, obviously add a second garage door and utilize the first floor, gutting it, rebuilding it, and adding a second level. The style of the second level is a reflection of a gambrel. The gambrel is pretty prevalent in this particular area. These are not exhibits, this would be an exhibit, but I only have one copy. So I'll keep this for the exhibit. What I did is this exhibit shows several homes that are gambrel style all around that red pin, which is the subject property.
All right, 1 second, we're gonna mark this as A3. Can you
A3.
Email me a copy tomorrow.
Yeah, I can leave that copy back tonight.
We'll need one for the hard copy at town hall as well.
Can I bring that?
Probably on board.
Yeah, I'm over at town hall every day, so town hall. So as the exhibit shows, we have a stone base that's gonna be surrounding the doors. The first level is gonna be hardy plank, replicating the planking that's very much in the area. And then the upper section, we're gonna develop out of shingle. And I brought some samples of the different coloring that we intend to utilize for this. And I'll hand them out, and this will be, again, a single copy, so I'll bring you a hard copy. This will be exhibit A4. The exhibit A4 illustrates the type of stone, illustrates the type of metal roof that we intend to put over each of the doors. And it has some color for the garage door. The garage doors are gonna be a cloquet carriage house style door, because it does dominate the facade. And I hope you agree that this is a very, good improvement by a building developer who really does give a damn about historic homes. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you very much.
Hold on one second. Tom, can you just walk us through the new addition part, or is it just
Sure.
just real quick?
Very quick. So we have a raised branch, which I illustrate on the cover photos. On the basement level, our intent is to add a small addition out the back that maximizes the building coverage that's available to us from the zoning tables. Down in the basement will be the second car garage right next to each other as illustrated on sheet A1, as well as a finished recreation space and the potential for having a basement level bedroom. So it has a window well so that it could work for someone's needs to have an extra bedroom on the basement level. The first floor is going to be gutted. Again, we have a small addition out the back that's serving as a breakfast area. We've kept the kitchen and the family room in the rear of the house, and we've kept the living room, dining room, and an additional bedroom in the front of the house. The first floor also has a shared powder room, full bath. The second floor, which is now subject to side yard setbacks. So we had to bring the second floor in from the first floor, so the walls are not on top of each other. They're really inside the gambrel shape. So the gambrel shape is a product of a little bit of only being able to develop in the middle. And what we've developed is 3 bedrooms and a 2-bath layout. The house has no attic. It has a single staircase that starts on the left side, right behind the garage that's there, and goes up to the second floor. And I mentioned, right, going back to the style, which you gave you a handout on. That we think that the interplay of these different materials, stone, clapboard, and shingle, is an appropriate introduction of a sort of a builder who cares about historic homes, and I think it's an improvement over the way plan.
Why don't you just, I know you have a lot of material here that was just presented to us. Yeah. So maybe we could just take a minute if anyone has any questions or comments.
And Tom, what's the percentage increase in height structure from current? proposed? And I think on the handout you gave us, it's labeled as existing front elevation, but I think it's proposed, right?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, it was on my plan as existing, and I colored it. Yes, it is proposed. My, I'm gonna guess here, the existing home is about 24 feet, and our proposed new home is about 32 feet. That's my answer. So the percentage of increase from 24 to 32 is 8 feet, or about 30% higher. But as you can see from those photos of the adjacent structures, there's some pretty high structures in much of the Wyoming section, as homes were, when it was built in the era, never really were subject to height restrictions, whereas we are.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. What is this decoration that's up here?
That's some trim board cross framing, so we intend to, how to treat the upper gable. It's a little whimsical, but I penciled over how I think we do the trim work. So the upper part will be looking like a lattice. So it's white on white lattice trim boards. They've done it in a few of their structures, and they love addressing these gable tops with some whimsy, and that's really what that is.
I thought the other side was better without the whimsy, but, we'll see how other people feel about that.
Yeah,
I
that's,
guess-
and you're referring to the fact that the shingles go right up to
Yeah,
the gable.
it just.
I think it helps.
Oh.
Yeah, I can go either way, but I think it helps form the aesthetic.
And then I had a question about the examples. Are any of those actually original to the Wyoming area?
Yeah,
They are? Those examples?
yeah, those homes are all pre-1940 or 1930.
I think one was one that was in addition and then here, right?
Yeah, for the last one, well,
The, one of them.
The
was very
67
new, and
Cypress?
then one that looks, I don't know, but it's not original, like, it's not of the character.
I'll
of
get the
neighborhood.
handout.
That's, I would say I wouldn't characterize Wyoming as a gable community, like, like everything's are,
Well, these are just homes like
Yeah.
right on the street.
like, I don't know, this one I don't know, that's again on the side and not quite gable. This one I would say is not an original house, I mean, that doesn't seem of character to the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a very squashed gambrel.
And then this one I think is an addition,
Oh, it's beautifully styled.
I think so, so, I mean.
Yeah.
So that's all I don't know that, I think the gambrel works for getting your square footage, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's fitting with the neighborhood. I don't think they're in the way. But we have it.
Can you just explain, I'm having a trouble understanding the windows on the second floor of the addition. How are they actually, set into the building? I don't, like. Explain to me the elevation of the
The
sides.
elevation,
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how your windows are set, it doesn't look like
this one.
they.
So the roof line's gonna come down and cut out of a section of roof line is this fairly flattish return pitch that allows these windows to exist. So from the front facade, the gambrel comes all the way down, but as you turn the corner, there'll be this cutout. And that's how those windows are.
So they're vertical.
They're vertical,
Oh, I
100% vertical. Yeah, it's basically a cutout within the gambrel on the side elevation.
Thank you.
I just have one quick question. Are the exterior colors and everything pretty much set, or is that more of a?
No, we're here presenting what I think I would like to see. But as you can see, the house is gonna take a much more neutral tone. It's right now, it's red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it certainly stands out. And we're doing work, so we're trying to make it an introduction of a very muted house, which is why I have beiges and light grays.
Yeah, I'm more asking that because of the metal roofs that are over the eaves that are over the garage doors.
Yeah.
They kind of stick out a little bit, at least, I mean, maybe it's just because you just called it with a marker, it looks that way. But if you're gonna have like this very light, subdued, tan-ish color, wouldn't that, my opinion might look better with, copper or over the garages instead of like a dark black.
Yeah. I would not disagree. We can reduce this to a light carbon gray, like a lighter colored.
Yeah, more
gray.
of a suggestion.
I do want to keep it as neutral, so I don't want to
Yeah.
put copper in here. It changes colors, right? It's orange for 6 months, brown for 20 years, and then green thereafter. But I would do standing seam aluminum. We'll go with a lighter color other than this one. So we would accept that as a condition of any approval.
Is the shingles on the corridor different from the one below?
Shingles in the upper section
Yeah.
are shingles,
Okay.
and the rest of the house is hardy plank boards.
Is there a reason because the examples you showed, they all maintain same characteristics?
Purely for articulation of the structure. As Ms. Wenga suggested, we can even agree to take away this upper trim pattern and carry the shingles up there. That came up, it just looked a little, bland, so I'm trying to, fancify the front.
This is actually pretty common in my
Right.
own, the clapboard at the.
Blackboards, yeah.
And then the shingles at the top.
Oh,
Yeah, that's actually pretty common, actually. That's actually closer to. That's actually quite common. A lot of houses have that.
And the hardy plank is smooth surface?
Yeah, I particularly don't like the wood grain hardy plank, I think it's not true.
Oh, just one other question about the stairs that come down from the front door. Are
Yeah,
those being extended out
No.
further?
so as,
So are you eliminating that turn to go to the driveway? That's still existing.
yeah, so I'll point out, so this turn is gonna remain existing.
Okay,
And the driveway is moving from way over here, over to right to the front of that step.
okay, I mislooked at it. So you're reducing the size of the driveway.
But I'm expanding it over.
But
That
you're
came
moving
up.
it to the other side. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, we're shifting, so the 2-car break at the drive, at the street is moving over.
Gotcha. Okay, that's perfectly fine.
It's on the right side of the house where the second garage door is gonna go. Just looking at the drawing, is that flush up against? That sort of piece that comes off to the right side of the house?
Yeah, there's a little retaining wall,
Yeah.
so we're
and then
limited in town to
What's
2-foot
what's
retaining wall.
behind that on the second level? Is that also is that all flush or is that?
Let me see what
the
you're,
depth
let me
is?
see what you're
So
pointing
we're
at.
looking at, so see, this seems like.
Yeah.
And then if you look like, where is this? Is this set back from here or is it all
Yes.
flush?
In order, no, it's flush, but I changed the siding so that I can maintain the gambrel shape.
Okay,
So it's a little bit of an illusion, but
yeah,
it's flat. So, but when you see this home, you'll see the gambrel trim coming down right on this, two facades that are the same, just to render shape.
Yeah.
And what Mr. Rosen was talking about is this surface is flat to this surface, and that's true. And we're using trim boards to sort of, try to make it look legitimate.
Any more questions, comments? Tom, just making sure, the construction drawings, we'll get a copy of those when they're sending the planning or?
Yeah, what you don't have in your packet are the structural plans, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing wise. But that whole package will be submitted to the building department. We could submit a fourth copy, we do three. Two for town, building, one for engineering. So if you want, I'll put a fourth in there.
If we could have that.
All right.
Cause sometimes
When we
we get
submit,
that
we'll
ahead
give
of
you four.
time. I also want to make a positive, thank you for taking on another project in town. Certainly, you've showed that you care about the town and you're taking these houses, but somebody might tear down and you're trying to figure out how it best fits on the lot and improves the neighborhood. So first and foremost, that. As far as, the gambrel roofs, and I think even though Elizabeth might be correct, there are a few in the neighborhood, and I can see why you did this based on, I know, for space. So, yeah, and as far as the way it's presented and all the different elements, I think it does stop it from looking so big or the mass on it. So I appreciate the breaking up of those pieces. Because the neutral colors you're picking, I think I would like to see maybe just that seamed roof, maybe kind of coming up with something maybe a little more neutral that doesn't stand so much off of it. I understand it's a very, contemporary idea, that kind of black, but maybe, it's such a beautiful building. I think my eye goes just to the black.
Yeah,
So I would hate to take away from the rest of this because.
you know why I made it black? This whole roof, I don't really color it, but we're using a dark colored charcoal shingle.
Yeah.
I have agreed I would make the metal a lighter version of a gray.
And again, if you need to get that approved or, or ask your client, that's fine too. So,
Are you okay with a lighter version? Yeah.
yeah,
She's referring to, it's sort of eyebrows, kind
yeah,
of heavy.
yeah. I mean, and again, you're taking away from the beauty of the house, so thank you. Matt, do you have any Matt is standing in for Barton Ross as our consultant. Do you have any questions that?
Yeah, I guess, how far would the roofs of the garages extend out, like the eaves themselves?
12 to 16 inches, maybe 24 at the most.
Okay.
The idea is to plant some lights in there and not have fixtures on the house, so it provides for downlighting.
Okay.
Just a better way to control lighting in general.
Okay, yeah, I mean, besides that, I think everything else was already kind of an issue for me, so.
Thank you.
Great. So right now, do we have anyone in the audience here on this application for the open meeting floor? Having none, do I hear a motion to approve with the list of changes requested by the board, which I think we only had one, and that was the.
Coloration of the apron roofs over the garage doors will be made lighter, possibly light gray.
Were there any others that? Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sarah?
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis,
Yes.
Fred Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
yes.
Elizabeth Winga,
Yes.
Venkatesh Chattopadhyay.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner.
So due to the noticing issues from last month that we had to cancel a meeting, we're gonna prepare a resolution to memorialize and approve this application. Can we get that we'll vote on it? at the
We'll waive our 45-day resolution period. If you can create a memorialization of this resolution tonight, that would be fantastic.
But you don't have to stay here while we do that. We'll do it at the end of the meeting and then Catherine will do the right away.
Fair enough.
Okay, and thank you for understanding. We had a lot of confusion last month, but thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I had one exhibit that was kept that had the property locations and the shape of
Probably
the roofs.
I have your scan as well.
That
The
one,
second was
oh,
Fred
that one?
Jenkins, and the first, is that y'all?
It was,
Their first.
was a Google map
Yes.
showing dots of where the homes with the gambrel roofs were.
Oh, they did come back.
Go back.
Sorry.
Give it back, right?
Yeah, I only had one, but I want to make it
Or
important.
no, maybe it's in here with all
So
the
what
other
are we
stuff.
looking for? Maybe
It's a 3-page, paper clipped Google map with the pictures showing the houses around the corner and on the same street having a gambrel roof.
I think I had that back to you.
Yes, so I have,
Other two?
I have the materials. And that's all I have. Oh, I'm sorry. I have it. I'll get those hard copies to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck.
We'll move on to application number 619, 171 Highland Avenue, block number 3104, lot number 4. It's a non-contributing property in the Short Hills Park District. This is a regulatory application to construct a rear Lagoda addition with built-in barbecue and spa, a pickleball court for the rear yard, and other associated exterior site improvements, etc. If we can have the applicants and/or professionals.
Just
sworn
me
in.
this evening.
Just you this evening, okay.
Make it simple.
And can you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Matthew Rosenbaum. I'm the architect and the applicant for the owner, DJ and Ruby Meta, the provider property.
And do you swear that swear or affirm that the testimony you will provide this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Just oh, the rope.
Oh, sorry.
He doesn't stand in front of us.
I'm sorry.
When's the last time you stood in front of us? We're just.
To be honest, with you, probably this hot house.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so can you provide the board with the benefit of your professional credentials? please?
Sure. My name is Matthew Rosenbaum. I'm a licensed architect. I've been practicing for approximately 35 years. I'm currently licensed in New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
And your license is in good standing?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So please proceed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the board's time and funny you remember me, which is great. 7. We did have a long process for this house and I appreciate everybody's attention at it. And I think it, at the end of the day, came out great. I think you're one of the leading proponents, so it helped get the through. So I appreciate it. The owners are very thrilled. Unfortunately, they're not here due to the scheduling conflict that same last month. And they're away on holiday to do the school closure. So I am presenting for them. Again, I am the architect that originally constructed the house back in 2016 or 17. It's approximately, I want to say about 4,000 square feet on the ground floor. It's a modern-ish structure in the historic district. And we are proposing to construct a rear addition onto the existing structure, which is highlighted in the hatch area, which is an open air structure that would ultimately contain a dining space, outdoor entertaining space for a television, a barbecue, and a small little spa area. So the design is intentionally trying to balance the rear one-story addition that we currently have on the right side of the property and creating a symmetrical condition with an open air structure that aligns with a rear yard projection and the side yard to create a courtyard feel for the center portion of the property. Any of the current utilities of seating and or space for outdoor cushions and entertaining is going to be moved underneath the overhang to allow the open space for the windows to kind of view into the backyard. We are also proposing a outdoor, it says pickleball court, but it's probably more of a outdoor sports flat platform that would be centered on the courtyard space into the rear part of the property. The addition onto the existing structure is a one-story structure that's going to align with the existing ceiling heights and the existing roof overhangs. As you can see, this is the proposed structure, which is trying to mimic or balance with the existing structure that's currently there. We mimic the posts, we mimic the materials, and again, we're not trying to recreate anything onto the house that doesn't look like it wasn't originally intended. We're adding approximately around 980 square feet of covered roof space onto the project. There's no internal space that we're adding onto the existing home. And I believe the total impervious coverage that we're adding is just over 2,000 square feet. There is currently no other proposals other than that. Again, I can go through some of the other questions if anybody has anything specific, but that's generally the proposal at the moment.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments?
There's some notes on the noise for the pickleball court.
Go ahead. Do you want to talk about?
There's some notes from the architect, so regarding some mitigation of noise.
I saw the notes from Barton. He proposed, again, obviously, there's some concern about the noise component of any pickleball court or any sort of sports court that are located on the property. We understand all that, and I believe the owner has had conversations with all the neighbors, so they're generally in line with the proposal and don't have any concerns about it. We are 100% on board with any mitigation on the noise reducing paddles or there's a special type of ball that they play with that makes less noise. They're fully proposed for that. We also tried to locate the court in a way that it wasn't up against any of the neighboring properties, sort of locating it in the middle of the rear of the property, just to kind of keep it away from any other neighbors as well. But we're 100%, there's gonna be no lighting, no fencing. They're not planning on playing at night. It's not like a type of thing. It's for essentially their personal use, and they're anticipating it, again, because the patio and the space around the house is very limited, and they're gonna use it for parties sometimes if they have, I know they host Diwali and stuff like that. So they don't really have a large patio space. They would utilize it for that. They might, again, use it for pickleball or put a basketball hoop on it. There's really not the ability to provide that use in the front yard as much because Highland's a little bit of a busier street and the driveway by the garage is fairly steep. So they're trying to utilize this space in the backyard. And we generally feel that any sort of use in that backyard would be no more of a detriment than a pool or a patio for any other property in the neighborhood.
What is the lot size?
It's 1.1 acres.
So you're not gonna have any lot coverage?
Anything we're proposing is well within, no required variances, we're well below the requirement. In fact, I can tell you on business, we are, let's see, the impervious coverage, I believe goes to 35% allowed, and we're only at 23%.
I have a question. I know originally when we worked on the house before, there was some mention of like floodplain, and it came pretty close to the house. Is that still an issue, I know that there were some additional water management, dry wells that went with this, but is this going to add to that? And certainly where the pickleball still is, that is definitely floodplain, is that correct?
I don't think it's a designated, like wetland specific area or anything of that nature, but there was some additional drainage that we did provide into the rear yard for flooding, because it's sort of a bowl type of design. And obviously, any proposal that we do would be submitted to the engineering that would do the calculation to allow for drainage and, absorb any water runoff from any of the impervious coverage. So, our intention is obviously, if we get the approval, we'll do the building plans and submit engineering plans to the engineering department to conform to all the coverage requirements. If I answered your question.
Yes, you did, thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I just want to confirm, you said there will be no lighting, this is. not
No lighting.
Like. Okay.
Oh, I did have one more. It showed that there was a television, right?
That is correct.
And certainly, how will the sound be mitigated with that? Is that because of the landscaping? I was trying to look at all that.
So it's a good question. We provided a solid wall surface on the adjacent to the neighbor side, so that wall will deaden any noise for the right side, which I believe are the singers. The TV is really just for again, personal use. I don't anticipate anything substantial, but it would just have a sound bar and all the noise would be facing inward towards the courtyard.
Got it. And but your closest neighbor, that's the solid wall.
The solid wall, which is behind there's an elevation in the package. You'll see, I believe, on fourth page, which is a solid wall, which will be with the same siding and with minimal openings again, which are screened just to let a little air flow through there, but mostly it's a solid wall right where the TV is, and all the noise bar, sound bar will be located directly below the television, facing towards the inward of the courtyard.
Terrific. Matt, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I think
No?
everything looks good.
If we're done up here, I am going to ask if there's anyone in the audience for the open floor. No, having none. We will move on then. I'd like to make a motion to approve this application. We don't have any changes that need to be made as is. Do I have a second? Sarah?
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis,
Yeah.
Brad Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Wenga.
Yeah.
Venkatesh Chatlavada.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Very
Great seeing
well
you again.
done. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Same courtesy, right, the same, yeah, we're gonna, right,
Yeah,
the
we can-
noticing, we'll also do your resolution memorialization because of the
Okay.
noticing issue.
Appreciate it. No problem. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sorry, just a second.
Elizabeth.
Okay, we're on to number 3. Application number 61851 Chestnut Street, block number 307, lot number 4, the non-contributing property in the Wyoming Historic District. This is- Hold on one second. Excuse me, guys.
You probably.
Excuse me, we'll move on. This is a regulatory application to construct a house addition, a detached one-car garage, and other associated exterior improvement site. If we can have the applicant and professional warning.
Can you state your name for the record, spell your last name, please?
It's Judd Abramson, AMSON.
I'm Douglas Miller.
Miller, from AHM Architect, located here in town.
Okay, and you've not stood in front of us?
I have,
You have, many years ago or?
Last year.
Last year? Okay,
Do you mind just giving the board
Sure, of
the
course.
benefit of your background?
Yes, yes.
I wasn't.
I'm a licensed architect from the state of New Jersey. I've been licensed since 2001. I've made numerous presentations to a number of variance boards as well as planning boards and historic commissions. I'm a license in good standing.
And forgive me, I must not have been here.
That's
so-
okay, no worries.
Thank you. So if you could proceed, that's great.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stand up the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I didn't, to back up a second, do you guys swear that, or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide this evening is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll try not to testify. So I just wanted to come up here and just say, first of all, thank you for considering our application. My wife Yuki and I moved into town about 5 years ago, and this is not an exaggeration. When we walked into our house, when we were looking for houses, she said, "I'm gonna die in this house." She just fell in love with it, and she is not the kind of person who is quick to make those kinds of decisions, but we just knew this was the house for us. Now we've been here a couple of years and we have a third child, and so our family has grown. And so we're just looking to continue to enjoy our house and to remain in the neighborhood. On that point, I just want to mention, another beautiful thing that's happened since we moved in is just our great relationships with our neighbors on every side. I've lived in New Jersey most of my life, but I never had these kinds of relationships before with my neighbors, and we're constantly, doing things together and helping each other out. So just want to continue to be there and be, member of the community. So just wanted to say that, and thank you for considering my application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time. Yeah, like Judd said, they love their house. They've just outgrown it. They, like so many people, work from home. They need a little bit more space. I'll give you a little bit of background on the property. It's a non-contributing property, as you mentioned. It's in the HPC notes. It's an undistinguished example of style. Much better examples exist. So many of those recommendations from back in the day indicated with these houses. Not everyone is a shining example of historic architecture. The house was originally a carriage house, built in the late 1800s, was moved to this location in 1927, and basically completely transformed. You could barely see anything of that original carriage house in what exists today. It's been enlarged and modified over the years. The most recent modification was an addition in 2000. The tax records refer to it as a vernacular Tudor revival style. I find it hard to see the Tudor in it, although there is some elements. It's more of a mix of styles. It has a nice charm to it, and I think it's a very attractive house. And that's what we're trying to do, is preserve it. So basically the thrust of the project is really to create a fourth bedroom for their new child. That required a little bit of expansion on the first floor. They have a work from home space that's very, very tiny. So we bumped that out towards the rear slightly to create a footprint to build that fourth bedroom on the second floor. While we were doing that, we wanted to improve the bathroom situation, and that required us to push the primary bedroom out to the rear on top of an existing first floor structure. And one other aspect is there's a shed in the rear now, and we're going to be replacing it with a one-car garage. We're designed the garage to be the smallest, conforming with the town ordinance. I'll go through the plan briefly. These are the existing floor plans. So basically the only internal changes on the first floor is removal of this wall. And on the second floor, this is where the primary bedroom is being put towards the rear. Forward to the, these are our floor plans. So we're just opening this area up to create a more open concept. This is the larger bathroom that we're creating, and just taking the existing bedroom and pushing it towards the rear. And this is the new bedroom, the fourth bedroom that we're creating on the second floor. This is that enlarged work from home space I mentioned. The elevations, back to the existing. When you look at the existing from the front to the proposed, there's really no difference, and I think the renderings are really gonna show that. So I've given you the renderings before, so I'll just pull those up, right, you can see them. So the existing house here, from the front. And proposed, I mean, it's basically the same. The rendering came out a little bit yellow in printing, but our goal is to really keep the original color. The only real change to the front of the house is this bay window here. The existing house has a bay window. It's one of those prefabricated bay windows that you can buy out of a catalog from the 1970s or 80s. It was tacked on the house. If you look at Barton's memo, there's a picture of a house from 1927. That bay window is not there. And we felt like the tacked on bay window just didn't look like it was part of the house. So what we're doing is reconstructing it as it would have been built in 1927. We brought it down to the floor, gave it more prominence, more significance, and made it more part of the facade. And if you look at that photograph that was in part of Barton's memo, I think that the bay really goes a long way to integrating the first floor into the second floor and creating a more attractive composition. If you look at the rear, it looks basically the same as it did before. And the garage, we're mimicking the elements of the front portico with what's applied half timbering. We're going to do a carriage style garage door. We're also mimicking the diamond pattern. The only two windows of the original house that remain are these two on either side of this central chimney. So we're mimicking that diamond pattern on the garage. I'm trying to make the garage complement the existing character of the home. So we really just mimic all the existing roof lines, all the existing materials. The house currently is a mix of stucco and cedar and asphalt shingles on the roof. The windows are Anderson 400 series. The existing are older Andersons. We're going to be doing more traditionally styled 400 series in the addition to complement the rest of the home. I feel that, you know, if you didn't know that we were doing this addition and you drove by the house, it would look exactly the same as it did before. I think what we're doing is very harmonious with what's there and well integrated. I'll pull back to elevations. Barton's comments, he had 4 comments. The first comment was the only one really of any question. I called him, we talked to him on the phone and explained what we were trying to do. And he seemed to indicate that he would have changed his opinion. He was going to update the memo, but he did not. He said maybe he was going to talk to the board verbally. Whether he did or not, the real issue, and I'll go to that side elevation, and it really relates to the floor plan. Since we changed the floor plan, the windows have to change. And if you look at the, I keep referencing that photograph of the original house, but the windows on the right side, they were just popped in where they needed windows inside the house. That right side facade, there's no really redeeming architectural character. It was more of a practical facade. And if you look at the way the house is sited on the property, it's really pushed towards the right side. And there's quite a few mature evergreens between that and the house to the right. So that side of the house is really shielded from the road and you don't see it. We're only merely changing the configuration of those windows to match the change in programmatic needs on the floor plan. So if we can't move the windows, we really can't change the house. And that's really the only change to the exterior of any note, and it's the least noticeable side of the house. We also put together a landscape plan as part of Barton's recommendation. And I'll kind of walk you through that. It's prepared by Brian Hirsch, a local landscape architect here in town. He's not here tonight, but I'll walk you through his thoughts and what the homeowners would like to do. So what we're doing here is, because the existing shed is in the backyard, we needed to get a way for a car to get back to the garage. And what we wanted to do is instead of extending the asphalt all the way back to the backyard, we wanted to do something a little bit more charming, a little bit more attractive. So we just have two paver strips going to the rear, something a little bit more traditional looking with a lot of grass, creating more green space, making it more attractive. There's also a fence that goes around the whole rear of the property. We're just gonna have the fence on the left and right side. It's gonna be replaced. It's a very attractive fence, keeping with the style of the house. And then along the rear, we're planting, some evergreens for screening. The issue is, I guess, last year, a couple of years ago, the house to the rear, came before the board and they did a very large addition and there's a lot of glass on the back. So they're kind of looking into our yard and we're looking into their yard. So we thought this is a perfect opportunity to add some natural screening to give both of us privacy and create, a much nicer environment for everyone involved. We're also removing, there's this large gravel area along the right side of the house. We're taking that away and replacing it with grass. There's also this kind of sea of concrete pavers that wraps around the whole house. So to eliminate some impervious coverage, we're reducing it, and creating a bluestone patio here, which I think is more traditional and more in keeping with the period of this home. We'll also be putting in a few planting beds to enliven the yard and to have some changes in color throughout the seasons. So overall, I think that what we're doing here really kind of improves the house. It's the concept of integrity. Designing something that looks like it was always there, preserving the style and character of the house. Creating something that's more harmonious and beautiful while meeting the needs of the homeowner. So I'll open it up to the board for any questions.
Thank you. Anyone on the board have any comments or questions?
I have a comment. I guess, have you looked at the drainage pattern in the back? Because I think, wasn't it the area that came in at one point and like people were complaining that water was being pushed
I
there?
can speak to that if that's okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not making, because people tend to do that.
Yeah, so some of you may recognize me because I was actually here when some of my neighbors came, because the tennis court was causing drainage issues. We were here in support of our neighbors, but we've actually have never had any flooding problems whatsoever in our backyard. And when the previous owners did their expansion, or previous owners, they installed French drains through the property, so there is existing drainage.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't pushing the problem back.
No, we've never had water come into our yard.
Okay.
From the tennis court.
If you can please note Christine Best now joined us this evening. Thank you. For the record. Any other comments?
Hey, can I ask a question on the roof elevation? I just want to confirm that the current situation is that the roof of the back part of the house is higher than the front. Is that correct? Just what I'm seeing on the proposed, and I didn't have to look back at the original, it seems that you have a slight difference, a couple feet. Sure. But that's current. That's perfect.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that, the left side elevation. This is that fourth bedroom, and you can see, we tried to mimic the roof line of the existing house. The area that's pochade is the new, and you can see it's lower than the peak of the existing house. So we wanted to design what we added to the house to be subordinate to the original. This house was more of a cube, this original portion was more of a square. So we're trying to preserve that integrity by making that read and our addition out here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I do have a question. Carriage house in the 1800s. Hard to look at this house now and think where that, you guys have a picture of that?
I did see a picture. If somebody didn't tell you it was the same structure, it would be hard to say. You could see maybe the roof pitch was the same, but the original house had this, had completely different detailing. There were really no windows. It was more like a barn.
Just more like a barn. Oh, it's very interesting, so you must frame those.
Yeah,
Yes.
we actually are planning to, put a little bit of a gallery up in the front of the house, just to acknowledge the history.
That's great. And you said the bay window is not original, of course not.
Correct, yeah, the bay window, it looks like a 1970s edition. It was just kind of applied to the house, so we're making the bay be more part of the architectural style of the home and more integrated as opposed to just applied.
Okay, and instead of removing it completely, you wanted that extra space? Is
Yeah, I actually
that-
think it improved the aesthetic of the palette. It seemed like that area was missing. And that photograph, it had some windows, they seem more crammed in underneath the brackets that hold up the second floor. And I think the bay, by having it come forward and recess back, provides the same amount of natural light, but seems more suited to that portion of the front elevation.
Great. Anyone else? Matt, do you have any comment?
I guess more so a compliment. I thought on the bay, the leaded glass, and they touch to keep the windows next to it. I think it just looks a lot better like that. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Great. Okay, so. Oh, public, I'd like to open, is anyone here, public for this application? No, okay, so we'll move forward. So do I hear a motion to approve this application?
Motion to approve?
Second? Second. Thank you. Sarah?
Allison Camfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis,
Yes.
Brad Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Winga,
Yeah.
Christine Betts.
Oh, you don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Do you want me to abstain? I saw, I actually reviewed this.
Yes, let's,
I'll abstain.
Yeah. is that okay?
Thanks, just presentation.
Yeah.
Venkatesh Chalavada.
Yeah,
So approved.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate it.
you. Yes, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So for our final application tonight is excuse me, one more minute. Your resolution, because the noticing last month and you got postponed, we'll get that to you and it'll be ready. Okay?
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, application number 622, 17 Winston Road, block number 3104, lot number 14. This is a non-contributing property in the Short Hills Park District. This is a regulatory application.
If we correct it, it is pretty property.
Did somebody put none?
Yeah, it's.
It's a contributing property in the Short Hills Park District. Did you know that?
Let me tell you.
Okay, but wait a second. This is a regulatory application. Yeah. Can we, if we can have the applicant and professional sworn in? Can we have you guys sworn in, anyone who's going to speak by our attorney?
Can you state your name for the record and spell your last name, please?
My name is Rajesh Sharma,
Can you spell your last name?
SHARMA.
Okay, and you are the homeowner?
Yes.
And I'm the architect, Thomas,
I'm sorry,
Thomas and. Licensed architect in New Jersey since 1988. Licensed planner since 2010. And my license is
license in good standing?
in good standing and I haven't appeared before this board.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay. This is 17 Mini Sink Road in the Short Hills Historic District. We've had a couple of discussions. There's a list of things. Part of it covered. And let me start with the gem, it's in the house. It's a 1.5 story, long revival. This is the existing home. So, all collaborative. Was built in 1949. It was added to the Short Hills Historic District as a contributing home as part of the 2022 survey that expanded the amount of homes that were contributing. We're doing a little work to the entrance. Fence. In terms of actual house itself. Into the existing ground floors. There's a two-story room right here. That's gonna be actually, sorry. Right here. So that is a garden shed with a bathroom for part of the principal bedroom of it. And then there's expansion of the sheds. That represents 134 square feet of lot coverage. That'll bring the total to 3,721. The permitted is 6,000. So it's about 2/3 of the allowable. The other thing on the tax records have it like 3,500 square feet. Based on the new ordinance, that would be 4,185 square feet. And we're adding 753 square feet. That is all the result of adding a master bedroom in this portion. The house with the roof is a little bit lower. So we're raising, we're not extending the roof, we're not increasing the height of the roof, but taking the gap between the floors out. Now, in terms of location. This is the lot. The house is located about maybe 30 feet from the rear lot. There's this driveway that comes up to the court, garage, and that's the entrance to the house. This is Mini Single Road. So, front of the house actually faces the back of the house, back of the lot. And what you see from the street is a lot of Green Giants dispersed. So, but this gate is need a pillar on either side of it. But the fence line is behind these, is gonna go behind these Green Giants. Come up to meet the neighbors. fence here. And it's going up to the neighbor's fence there. It's about 400 feet of fence. I have you, yeah, a handout. So it's one single package.
A1?
Says A1.
There we go.
And it's got the next data. We go. So. Most of this is actually. This is the new addition, the potting shed, it's master there. So this is the entrance, two gates. Power operated? Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be power operated as swimming pools. That's the basic configuration of the fence. It's actually, it matches the neighbor's fence. So we want continuous fence line. The fence has really two purposes. One is they're avid gardeners and almost every important plant on the property is surrounded in chicken wire.
Right now, if you see it, it looks awful.
Here, right?
Well, deer most of that.
Yeah.
So this is a level of the turn. And the other thing is the house is 300 feet from the road in a dense forest. So if you look through these, there's not much you can see from the road other than this is pretty well shielded. On the other hand, it also is a little at risk.
Gary, I'm gonna refer to you. There's a regulation where there's no front yard fencing.
Yes.
How tall is that fence?
6 feet. Standard 6
Well,
feet.
6 feet, would be 6 feet on the sides.
Right, it would have to be 2 feet on the front. Anyway, you slice it, this application is gonna be going for a variance from the zoning.
Yeah.
So this.
I just didn't know if you were aware that that wouldn't be allowed in his,
By virtue of the fact that the house is that's close to the back, it violates the rear setback and rear yard unoccupied. So those are 2 variances that we and another one.
from a historic standpoint, we would have to justify that your backyard. And this house was built later and it was intentionally facing the wrong way, right, when it was built. So we wouldn't be able to support this application in zoning because, first of all, a gate wouldn't be allowed. And that's considered their front yard. So again, is that part of your application for us to approve?
The style of the fence itself.
Okay.
And just. This area is 6 feet higher than the area right on the downside. Retaining wall, this is another 2 feet, 3 feet down. So this whole area here is not a valley, it's more like
Yeah,
but there's a retaining wall running over here, it's this neighbor's, and that's, I think the maximum is about 12 feet. 12 feet. Large retaining.
right,
So,
but
so this whole area was original, and then all the homes around it. kind of built it.
I'm not sure when the 12-foot retaining wall. It would have,
I think there
would have been possible prior to
It was
zoning.
built before, you know, zoning laws.
It was built when this house.
You
Obviously,
know,
that's something we'll have. to
yeah,
look
we'll
at.
have to look at, yes, zoning. Okay, so,
But that is the neighbor's retaining,
yeah,
so it's not really.
no, but I mean, again, I'm saying that probably is grandfathered and that it wasn't something that was new. You're asking for a 6-foot new fence on the road, which,
Right, that's
yeah,
the zoning violation.
Okay, so I guess how would we break this out then? So we're right now just going to vote on the new addition to the house.
So Barton has a bunch of,
Yeah,
he has a 7-point plan here.
yeah, maybe Matt, can you go through it with us and just,
Yeah, absolutely. So, this first point was no wood grain fiber cement siding allowed in the historic district and use smooth siding only.
Right.
And then,
And that in the material package, I sent you spec siding, which is flat, 5/8 inch.
but I'm confused, what is this stone?
The stone is another thing that he's listing, and we'll get to that, because he wanted samples and everything.
No, but you're
200 pounds
replacing
less.
this, that's what I guess I'm a little confused. You're replacing the siding with stone?
Yes.
All the way around.
Front. The pool. Right now, that's an average. Proposing stone. And we'll get into the text, but. Fiber cement board, smooth. The thicker version.
and then, simulated divided light, with a space bar, I see that you have,
Yeah,
a
so
section of these
that's
windows right here.
detailed windows on drawings are, Anderson 400.
Then I guess one question I have is on, this chimney on the front of the building, that chimney right there on the top left.
It's actually a little further,
Yeah,
it's flat, it's covered in siding,
okay.
and it'll stay there.
Okay, yeah, I was just asking, because in the renderings, it has it as stone, but in the existing it's brick. Is there any change, or is there any plan to take the brick down, replat it in stone, or just?
If it's possible, we would like to do that because that will give a better aesthetic.
Yeah, so make all the stone match. Physical back sample of the stone. So there are a couple of cut sheets in the package. But. And I got this request on Monday, so I could get it.
I just have a question. This is a continuing house, but we're pretty much demolishing, we're batting it over with that, it doesn't look like the house at all.
It's contributing.
It's a lot of different periods period style.
So I'm just getting. Yeah. It's almost like a.
Visually, the facade is, yeah.
Yes, well, and facade is
Yeah.
very deteriorated. So it needs replacing the way.
Hang on, Matt, can you continue? I mean,
Yes, so provide the commissioners with some sample lists, those are right there. Number 4, the proposed exterior and second floor renovations to the existing structure are mainly in the rear of the property in keeping with the architectural style of the house. Any specific character defining architectural features are proposed to the house.
So to that end, the 2022 survey did identify a few things. Definition of brackets that were attached to the wall, mostly supporting gutters. Replace those, and there's a cut sheet on that. And the other thing that was mentioned was the front door. And the drawings that you have that were originally submitted had a modern front. This is a 2-story entrance foyer. And subsequently, we kept the 2 doors and with the balcony belonging. The house is a little more consistent. And 7,
Number 7, paint colors are not reviewed by the commission, yet applicants are encouraged to select color schemes that are compatible with the surrounding context to create a sense of visual continuity in the district.
so currently it's purple,
Great.
gray color.
Right.
Great. I think
I think it was pink and then someone had changed it to gray before selling the house because we can see the paint coming out of that underneath. So it's just peeling off. The entire house is falling off.
the intention is to keep the color consistent.
I'm so confused. The color of what? Aren't you putting stone everywhere?
No, the stone is only on the front and side, on the sides and on the back. It's-
Yeah.
Sorry.
So-
Am I supposed to ask questions?
What?
I didn't.
No, I'm just very confused about.
No, I was gonna say,
can't
when you're
understand.
done, am I allowed to ask, I didn't know. if I didn't-
Yeah, you can
Okay,
ask questions. I'm
okay.
just very confused about what's going on.
I had a couple of questions also, Matt.
Yeah,
Or do you want us to speak first?
I just need
Yeah,
clarification on Barton's. So real quickly, let me just go down the list.
Yeah.
So he said no wood grain, cement siding's allowed. So you changed that or is it?
Never was. Oh, yeah, it was a sample.
Okay,
It's gonna be painted flat.
and that's acceptable, okay. The windows, the 400
They
series.
are 400
to
series.
highlight. So we got that. The stone is this piece here, and that's what you'd like to put on the front of the house.
Right,
Okay, and what's existing is,
clapper. Big clapper. Purple.
okay. Comments, questions? I just had a few to clarify.
Yeah, I had a number of questions. Hi, I'll talk louder. So, I'm not an architect, but, the original house, the front facade, obviously to your comment, it's very run down, and I understand all the structural needs and, all the changes are really interesting, like with the, dormers, et cetera, the base and how they come out, I think it adds a lot of dimension to the house. My comment going back to, what Elizabeth said, this very much feels like a Cape Cod house that would be sitting in like Brewster, Massachusetts, or, maybe, so my concern is that the overall feeling doesn't sit with the historic nature of this house and or the neighborhood. It has a lot of different periods, kind of like particularly, and that's my concern from heavy, like wrought iron fence work, for the gate, which is, more of an LA kind of thing versus a Short Hills thing, and has been historic districts. And just the busyness of the front facade versus a very classical pared down, almost like puritanical Cape Cod house. The balustrades are extremely heavy and there's just a lot of heavy detail. And like, I think the big call up for me would be just like looking at, the divided lights. And then you have these sort of casement windows in one of the other dormers. And so I just feel like it's very busy and not in keeping with the historic nature of the neighborhood. It's not that it's not a nice, pretty house sitting just somewhere else, but I almost would like to see a lot of the dimensional stuff be done, just almost like simplified down in some way. And, going back to Liz, I think the stone is heavy on the front facade. It changes the whole feeling of the house.
Can I say something?
I'm sorry, your name, please?
Rashmi
We need to swear you in, okay, if you're gonna speak.
And your last name?
Kumari, Kumar.
And do you swear that everything you've said so far and that everything you will say moving forward has been the truth, will be the truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you will look at the house, the front is basically the back of the house. So the entire house which we are saying here front is back and it is not visible from the road. In fact, even from the neighbor houses, all the houses which are constructed right now, they have the evergreen on their fences. And there is a fence going on around my house, which we are saying front, but in reality it is back of the house. The front cap code, which you said, I do not understand the design that much, but yeah, cap code I understand. That is basically the back of the house, and that is going to stay as is. And that is visible from that is the side which is road side. So when we are saying fence, basically we are putting the fence in the front, but that is our backyard because the entire land is at that side. And the house which is facing the other way around, unfortunately, that is our front yard, which is not visible from anywhere. So if you will look at the neighborhood, everyone has the fences in their backyard because everyone has the small kids now, so as me. And we have a small 7-year-old. The house is, the driveway is slopey, so he just runs up. And I don't let him go down because I'm afraid that any car can hit him or he doesn't live. So all these reasons why we think that, for front yard and backyard is kind of a fun thing here that our entire house is other way around. So we are not changing the front, which is at the roadside, but unfortunately entire backyard is our front yard from the road perspective because the road is going that side. You have to go all the way up round the board to enter our house, which is basically the back of the house where you see all these stones
And both, these are all.
yeah, and it's already
Tenants.
fenced from all sides of the neighbors. So the only place where we don't have fence is this side where we have the retaining wall of the neighborhood, which we were talking about. And in the front, as I said, that it's a slope which goes all the way kind of double storage to down. And that's where we want to put the gate so that the kid cannot go out all of a sudden.
So again, we look at this as that we are told to keep the front of the house, okay, whether it's turn the whole different direction. We have houses that the front of their yard face the side. Some houses have, 2 front yards because a road connects them in the back and also in the front. So we really are trying to keep this house that was recognized as significant, the same in the front. So the stone would change the appearance of the front of this
So we'll
house.
leave it black.
That's what we're kind of fighting against, okay? Because it's our responsibility that we're looking at the front of the house, right? Can it be recognized? It is a period of time that this was built And that was how they turned the house. So unfortunately, a lot of these properties they were subdivided off. Houses are oriented different direction, okay? And I'm not really sure why someone in that period of time chose, unless I would have to see something historic to see if the house on Highland, maybe that was your original driveway in the 40s. I'd have to see all this, right? So,
Well. And it was these two houses seem like they're on the newer side. So.
yeah. So I do know the house.
Okay, so let me tell you, this house, right? Okay, I have, so this house, so on the back of the property, if you see, on the back of our house, this house, you see the tennis court?
Yeah.
This was the original Cora Hartman house, right? You see it,
Yeah.
this one?
No, it was the carriage house to the house
Yeah.
beside it, but
Yeah.
Laura Hartshorn lived
Yeah.
there.
And someone built a,
Facade like that.
yeah, they have a facade like this, okay, that house. And this is the new construction they built, a very big house they built in front of that house. You remember this house?
That's not new construction.
No, this is very new construction.
Brand new construction,
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 or 3
It's
years.
a brand new
Yeah.
construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And this house is totally on the back. So this is the one and this is the front area and the whole house is, if you look at the house like city thing, the house price value of this house, only the structure is $300,000. 300 in that area, okay? The house is in totally bad condition. The only thing you can do with this house is demolish it, right? But we are trying to see, hey, can we make it better so that at least we can keep it the house, not destroy it, keep it the house and make it more livable so that we can enjoy for the long time till we grow old, we can live in house, we have 2 kids, we want to give them a good life of this city so that and why we wanted this gate, the main object, the main thing was in neighborhood new gate has come up in the last 2 years. I can give you the address of the house where in the front gate has come up, new gate has come up. The one of the reason of this is if you look into it, this is the downlink. From here to here, it is almost 20 feet down, 25 feet down, this slope is there. So when my son rides bicycle, he totally comes here. So if I was thinking, and many times it happened that he was under the car almost, right? So we thought if we put a gate here, it will be a big thing that if he's riding his bicycle, he's a small kid, okay? He will not with any accident. At least the gate he wanted to put something. So currently what we do is we try to put something temporary like a fence kind of things, road, which we move it when he's riding his bicycle, which is very painful and doesn't look good as well. So we thought, is it possible to get something done so that, so he said, Tom suggested we have to go to the zoning board because they have to approve it. And so if you see, we planted all these green giants, they are 20 feet, 25 feet. So even if fence will come up, it will come behind that, not on the front of it. Yeah, and we are looking for a gate here, and this is the back of the house. And the whole wood thing, if you see the character of the house, you're talking, this house is 1949 built house. Okay, it's not a like 1900 or 1800, 200-year old. And the other thing, this house, if you see, this house new thing is here and here. This is the front. They build it. We want to improve this area with a better siding because the wood is totally rotten. Whatever the wood, and it looks very ugly. If you come to house, the only thing you say that, hey, you have such a nice yard, but you have such a slum house in that neighborhood. That, believe me, that is the comment he will say. Believe me.
When you bought the house, were you familiar that this is a historic district?
But
We
it
were
was
not told that.
contributing.
Yeah, we were not told
It
that.
was
we
added
cannot change.
contributing in 2022.
And the gates that you probably see in town were either already there, if you're thinking the one on Menacing, that was grandfathered.
No, I can
Okay.
tell you 36 or 39 Stewart Road.
Okay.
They have a new gate built in.
Okay. I find that hard to believe, but we'd have to look.
I can send you
Yeah,
the pictures
yeah.
and the house number.
But they're really by regulation, that has to go through zoning, and they're rarely approved, right? Because, and we really can't approve any of that.
Oh, you can't,
Yeah.
you're approving the aesthetics of the fence. You're not-
Yeah.
You're not approving whether it's there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but what we do have is we have to preserve the front of the house no matter what orientation. If you guys remember, we've had multiple houses come in front of us and they're facing the wrong direction. We need the front of the house minimal disturbance and repaired to the way it was. Now, certainly putting back what was there, maybe painting it a more pleasant color or whatever. Those are the kind of improvements that we need to see. Now, I don't know when the additions were put on, maybe in the back of the house.
So if you see, this is the front,
Yeah,
this is from the road front, we are
Yeah.
not touching anything.
but that's the back. So remember, that's the back of the house, right?
No, at some point, there was a gate here, this was the front, here was the entrance. They blocked that entrance at some point of time, and then this was the garage, you see, this is the garage?
Yeah.
And then they made this, maybe like, I think sometime they closed this gate here, this was the gate, the front of the house. They made this as a gate, but this was the original, at some point, this was the original entrance of the house.
You have those historic.
Yeah, do you
No, you can come and you can see.
You will see the landing area.
You
We
can
see
see
in
the
pictures.
landing area and all.
Well, I understand that we just can't go see it. So is it documented that the house was facing the other direction?
The house was facing this side, yeah. It
Yeah.
was
Toward the biggest
Yeah.
part of the yard?
Here, yeah.
not the biggest part, it's like in the side. So this house, this side is the road facing. You come all the way. This is the side where the original door was.
Okay,
This was,
that was the extension.
it was an extension, this is the current.
Okay, I can't tell by this. So Matt,
Sometime.
can you shed any light on this? Are you aware or is Barton aware of where the front of the house?
When I spoke to Barton, maybe we were confused on the front and back. I can go back and ask him, but we were under the presumption that this was the back, but that might just be a miscommunication on our part.
And you can't prove to us today what the original front of the building was?
I don't know. I can take a look at historic and see.
But do you have it with, like
I do not
tonight?
have it with,
Okay, so I'd like to make a suggestion.
yes.
Let's not vote on this application tonight until we have all the factual information, because that determines whether we, or how I think we would vote. Because right now,
Well, can we continue with the objections?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
we can do
good.
that.
But I think one thing, when you gave us this new packet, you've changed the front of the courtyard entrance, right, from what we had in the plans.
Right.
So we don't have these designs as plans, which I
So,
think we need to see.
so it might be, and I'm just being honest with you,
The
is.
plan, it hasn't changed.
On these drawings, they still show the more modern entrance you're making. Now you have balustrades. You know,
Right.
that's all new.
That's all new,
Right.
doesn't, didn't change the plan. New elevation.
I mean, I think it would be good to give suggestions, because when you come back, you would make revisions on your plans, because it could still get voted down for other issues, and I have specific other issues that brought up those other ones. Just for the purposes of.
Yes, but understand one thing, if the direction of the house is, then
Okay, then there's something.
null and void.
You're right.
So this is why I'm saying to you, you can ask us to vote tonight on this application, or we can gather more information and make sure before we vote.
One
So-
thing I know that I talked to city when we were trying to find some of the blueprint of the house, that if they have anything, and they said that they don't. But we see that there is a landing area which is in the living room, and that makes sense that in that landing area, they used to have the door, which was moved at some point of time in the back. Why, I do not know, because the house, if you will see, original house was in the middle, and then they have done couple of additions. In the back side, they have made a living room, and then this side, they have made a master bedroom. So all those are kind of addition, but I do not have the blueprint, original blueprint where I can prove.
Okay, so, but I do think that it can be located, so, and certainly Matt, is that something?
We'll try to do that.
Yeah.
On the colonial comments. What shows that?
I think if the facing of the house changes, then many of this is going to be, like she said, it will help you.
It will help you to understand the direction of the house. You will make the changes based on what we've already said. If the front of the house is pointing to the neighbors, then the facade of that can only be repaired, maybe updated, that type of thing. If we find that the front of the house is actually a different direction, again, that's only going to help in the long run. Right now, this is worst case scenario. So, and you already have Barton's report on what changes he would like to see made. So I think, is there anything
Yeah,
else?
no, I think we could be clearer. I mean, I don't think that we're maintaining the character of the house. We've kind of changed it into a house that is not from the
The
1940s and colonial, right? So we've gotten rid of the arched garage doors, which again is sort of a 1940s character. You know, do I think that there's any issues with adding dormers? No, but if they're in a 1940s style, they can't be in a modern style. You know, we added balconies that are a little heavy-handed for any era, really. But you know, again, they're not 1940, like, so we're looking for you to, yes, you can make the house livable. Obviously, you saw 3 other applications coming where they all made additions and changes to the homes, but they kept within the style of the original home, and the additions were complementing the home. I think that these additions and the materials are changing the character drastically of the home, right? So we're no longer looking at the same home at all. So I think that's the thing, is that, you know, a lot of these things wouldn't exist in a 1940s home. So I think, to be fair, I think it's not the same home.
And the character of the neighborhood that you love and that you're in. So you're trying to change the character of the neighborhood by making this house more modern, or when it's really a 1940s, it doesn't mean that it, you know, it can't be beautiful and outstanding, but this is kind of what you're in a historic district, so
Right.
we're being mindful of.
Which
It's a
now
contributing
has
property.
7,000 to 8,000 square foot houses that have replaced smaller older ones.
I mean, that was the original plan, because I wanted to gut this house, like all my neighbor has done. If you look the house which is in the back, gut job, brand new house. Side, same thing. If you will look at the front, there is a small portion, and then there is addition around that. So all the houses have this similar thing, and if you will go, you will see that either the entire house was gut and a brand new house is made, only a front, a small portion was left in the back. Side Koda Harshan house, it is completely gone, and there is a brand new house. If you will look into the front.
Wait a minute, clarification. There was never a house. It was only the carriage house from the other house. They made it into a pool house. The house that they put in front of it is brand new,
Yeah.
but they restored
The
the
old house.
significantly, yeah,
Yes.
historically, this historic house, okay? So no houses, to my knowledge, unless they were condemned, have been torn down.
Torn down means that the entire house is gone except the front wall of the house for a small portion.
Well, certainly they've kept the house and added on to the back of the house. That's certainly something that has been done in the historic district.
Only they kept the front facade and back of the whole house is
Broken and
removed.
They can expand
Yeah.
on the back of the property. If you're talking about the one right beside. the
In the,
front.
Yeah,
in
on
the
my
side
side,
or
yeah.
in the front, in the front you will see the entire extension in the side.
No, they would not have been allowed to extend the front. So there would have had to been a step back and then they expand, so it looks different from the front, but they would not have been allowed to touch the original facade. So again, these are things that we, this is our job, is to make sure that the house, the character of the house, the original house remains visible and that we recognize it. So,
Can I ask you one question,
Yeah.
simple question, what is the main objection, and if you can tell us, that will help us. What is the main objection?
So the house
Only
should
the
look,
rock is the objection or anything else is, only this is the objection?
the
or
house
anything?
should look like what it was in 1940s for the most
So
part.
if this house is there, so if we are building it and keeping everything same, only this siding, you are okay with that, or you feel that, hey, we can, currently you see there is no entrance, even if you go here in the rain, if you are opening the key, there is nothing to give me anything, right? There is nothing. So you feel that, hey, you can, so this is much better. If you look into it, if you feel that, hey, something need to be changed in that, then suggest us that, hey, what?
And that's all fine. I
Yeah.
just, like, what everybody's trying to get at is it's not so much the changes of the expansion to the second floor that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the style of what you're doing. The aesthetic of it. So you see, look at the garages, how Elizabeth mentioned, they're curved on the top. That's a very 1940s aesthetic. You're getting rid of you're expanding the one, so it's a two-car garage, and now it's flat squares. Like, that's completely
So-
different in style.
So if this is the objection, yeah, we can keep
Well,
it same.
it's not the only
I'm
one.
saying,
It's-
No.
I think.
We can keep the arch, but I will still look for two door because when I park my car, I don't do it right now. My car always stands outside because I'm afraid that I'm going to bump into something.
Right.
And that's.
So, yeah, we can
Yeah.
certainly bring it up
Yes.
to date, right? So this is what, and your architect certainly, I think, knows what we're talking about by style and all that. And maybe working with Barton a little more on this project. He might be able to suggest some ideas too, or Matt, to keep it in more, but I would first and foremost, before you do anything else, find out the original front of this house, because that will
Yeah, if it
determine-
goes this direction, then this is kind of back and
Right.
that may be valid, whatever we have presented.
So can I say that we really, besides style, and we've mentioned and hopefully that you can work with Barton and understand that piece. I don't wanna vote on it. I would like to move it to either next month or whenever you're ready, instead of vote it down, or I'm not sure, I'm getting the feeling that it might not pass tonight, and just hang on to it until we have additional information. Maybe you talk to your clients about some of the changes and the period of time and that type of thing. Once we find out where the front of the house is.
What happens if it fails?
If it fails, I don't see how it could. I think working.
No.
No, he's
Tonight?
saying if we vote and we vote it
Tonight?
down, then he
Can
needs
come
to-
back with,
Well,
We can come back with
yeah,
a
it's-
application, but.
Yeah, you can come back, but what I'd like to do is carry this application, so you don't have to renotice and you don't, you know what I mean? Let's keep this active. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people go through this process, they come back,
Yes.
it helps you a lot.
And the other question I have that, how do we get those original blueprints? Because this is historic committee, right?
Yeah, no,
So you
for
should be
sure.
having the changes which was done originally. We could not get anything in the city house, so how we are going to get that one? Because that was there for sure, we can see the entire footprint of that there was a road. And originally it was facing south, here it was not this direction, where right now.
1970.
Yeah.
Lost all our records.
Yeah, so if you visit, I can show you.
I
You can see from
get
your
the
eyes.
pictures, yeah, I can get all the
But there
pictures.
is no,
Don't you, can I just interrupt, cause I had meaning to say this, don't you have like, have you gone, like, when you bought the house, did you go to like the basement in Newark and like pull up all the deed records on the
Yeah, yeah.
property? And like, cause usually they have, you know, the surveys attached and you'll see the
No,
format of the
there
house.
was,
You don't have-
unfortunately,
you don't
there
have
was
that?
nothing.
There's
No.
no surveys?
No.
Do they have the survey companies listed that you get that?
no, this is 2018 survey. So in 2018 survey, it will not show up.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you go to the courthouse and research it? Cause they.
Yeah, I went to the city office.
No, the city office won't have it, I'm talking about the Newark County, Newark downtown courthouse, they have all the records from Essex County and properties. And they'll have all the sales and transactions, who was sold to, and who did the survey. That's, I was just suggesting that, cause then you could maybe prove.
But here, like, I just want to understand more, what other objections you have, like,
Okay.
a stone is the one thing, if you can tell me what else, yeah.
I'll tell you, I mean,
I think
she doesn't want it,
I don't want to, and I'll
This
tell
might
you
not
why.
be
You have an
necessary.
architect
Yeah.
that understands the style of nineteen forties.
And
If
the-
he's saying that he's able to do that, then
Yep.
they've hired a professional to do that. I think we've given that as, you know, like, we're not here to design somebody's house, we're here to kind of give.
And what we're giving you now, if the direction of the house is different, it's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what part of this is a significant part of this, because we don't even, you're saying that this may not be the front of the house. So let's confirm that, okay? So,
And just to get back to your question earlier about the consequence, so typically in a board such as this, if an application gets denied, you have to come back with a completely different design, you know, it's substantially different. So, you know, whether or not that, you know, that specific estoppel, I'd have to confirm, but in the abundance of caution, until I could double check and it would be better, you know, because if you're stopped, you know, from coming back, it would have to be a completely different project.
6,000 square foot house.
So,
if you guys want to take a minute to talk about it, you know, yourself, but my suggestion is that we postpone this with more information and not deny it, but we'll let you, if you guys want to step out for a minute,
And
we'll.
one question like I have, if you deny it, for example, what is the force that, hey, you made a correct decision, a wrong decision, something what we feel, is there any process to listen to our views? Because we want to make this house a livable house, that is our main thing. If you come to our house, I'm free to, give you a tour of my house. If you come in,
No, they can see the picture.
think like your own house and say, what will you do? Not me. If you say that, hey, Rajesh, this is what I will do this to make this house, whoever is the expert, I'll be so happy to hear from.
So Rajesh, we are not, our role is very simple, right? We are not allowed, we are not visiting houses. We're not, like she said, we are not trying to tell you how to design the houses. We are just trying to follow the rules and the guidelines given to us. It's not, we are not doing anything that is, we are helping you, right? We are not trying to stop you, we are helping you. So just like they are saying, take time, go back, get the records to help you, and then work with your architects, work with Barton, right? They will guide you. It'll help you to go back and do some more research, support your design, come back.
The
Instead of
last
pushing
question
towards-
which I have. If you are saying this is front of my house, do I need to only keep this portion because this is the original portion? Or do I need to care about all of this? And can I then go into back, I can extend it up,
Yeah.
2-story, double story, larger height and everything, I keep this as is?
Well, first of all, right, I think I do. We'd like to see what period things were added on, okay? So again, this is gonna be really helpful for us to figure out what this house and how it stood. certainly working with Barton, okay, and he is our consultant. He's not, he's there to help you. You don't pay for Barton, lucky. He's there to guide you on what, could happen here. They're not just one way. There could be multiple different ways. So give you more of an idea of what that might be. Again, if it makes you feel any better, I know at least 2 people on this board who took a historic house like this, and they didn't get everything they wanted, right? But they worked within the boundaries and have beautiful homes and no regrets. And having 2 architects working for you, guiding you in that direction, really helps you have options. So that's what we're asking of you. This house can't be torn down because it's in a historic district. So we would love to see something created as it's intended. And I don't think we've ever heard anyone that we've worked with who said it made it better. Okay, they love it even more. It was more creative. So if that's helpful at all, we're here to help you. This particular design, as it stands right now, I can't even begin to comment on because I'm dead in my tracks without knowing what direction this house is actually setting. Okay, and what was added, so we would be able to get the year something was added onto it. We'll see what was the original house. So these are the things that will help all of us, I think. So you guys want to talk for a minute?
Well, that, see, if I can find out survey, all the areas. And
So
talk to Barton, and
our-
see what he's ready to endorse.
our biggest concern is if we don't find anything old, okay, then who will decide which one is front of our house and which one is back of our house? Because one of the rules I have seen in the city, you cannot make your garage facing the roadside.
Right.
Right? And this is facing the roadside. So this is facing the roadside. That means that the back of the house is the front yard. If that rule applies, then it means that this is the back. Okay?
Yes, can I just say, I
Yeah.
don't think we're here to argue like
No,
these
just
points,
I'm-
I know, but that's already there, so it's grandfathered in, we're not telling people to change how their houses are, I don't
No.
think we're here to argue points with you, we're basically here to enforce the Secretary of Interior standards in the town for historic districts, we're not the zoning board, we're not any of those things, so I think basically what we've told you is, we don't think the design that you come in with is representative of the period of this home. And at this point, we don't know what the front of the house is. I mean, to be honest, I think we probably wouldn't even accept this in the back. We would recommend to people, even if this was the back of your home, we would probably give you suggestions. Whether we have governance to be able to change that or not is another thing, but we definitely would have commented on it. And people often take our suggestions, just in that they understand that it's making the home more appealing and even, honestly, more saleable in the future because it's part of a district. So I don't know that arguing into the night is helpful at this point. I think, to be honest, the design of this is fairly far off of what we would be expecting to see. That I don't think we can pinpoint 1 or 2 things for you. I just think that it's not really keeping the style of the home. So I think that's our dilemma here, right? And we have limitations of what we're allowed to do. So
I agree with that, but I also want to believe that the information is out there. Obviously, it was added as something of significance in the period. So there has to be something out there that represents that. So I think we're just missing some pieces here. And we're gonna work with you here. You're part of the team. You live in this district. We're here to help you and support you. So, again, I'm gonna ask, would you like us to vote on this now, or would you like to come back to us with more information and us help you get more information? What I mean by that is our consultant, Matt Barton, work with your architect and you and try to figure out the pieces.
I will let Tom.
Barton is very, very good. You guys should work with him. They'll help you a lot.
You didn't raise this objection, right? Otherwise we would have not done
Yeah,
that.
because the
Yeah,
front
that's-
and back is such a.
You didn't raise this, you know, the
Let's
whole
go.
thing, yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk to Bart.
yeah.
Okay, so you'd like us to carry this application?
Yes.
And will you let us know if it will be next month or?
Well, so why don't we carry to
Yeah.
December 4th, with no further notice? And then if we don't move forward with it next month, we'll, see if we can come up with another hearing
Okay.
date and we'll
That would be
extend at that
Good
time.
enough? Okay,
Okay, so
Perfect.
officially carried with no further notice to the December 4th hearing.
Yes.
perfect. Thank you
very
so
much for your
much.
time.
Okay?
Thank you.
Please. We're almost done. So, we have this, I'm gonna quickly go through. Excuse me, the discussion items, I see a lot of these. Okay, so first of all, this is all part of the chair's report. We're still trying to figure out, some outreach, education, certainly, the Short Hills Association has, mentioned asking Barton to come and talk about historic, preservation. I think it's a good idea, so that anyone in the community can come. So that might be one of, the events, or, well, I'm gonna work with the Short Hills Association and see if we can get them scheduled for the near future to talk about historic preservation, no community, no individual houses, but in general. So, I think it's long overdue, and it's something that we probably need to do more of with the various associations in town. So people are more familiar with what we do, because it can be very confusing. I've been doing this now for 19 years and I'm very confused myself still. So I'm not sure anybody's gonna get it in an hour and a half program, but we'll try our best. As, just so you know, the New Jersey Transit Bridge Project, Dave, can you just talk on a TC level about, that it did pass, but they wanted discussion of some sort? on-
Yeah, they authorized the expenditure of the money to Barton to do the study. But they are looking for, a public presentation on, why you want it, why it's valuable to have those designated or partially designated. Well, so they're still looking.
This is the thing.
And I think that's important that happen.
Right, so maybe with the new changing of the guard, maybe you can let us know if there's a time that works, Dak, because you are expert on it, and I'm more than happy to.
Yeah,
Do
and I
it with
know
you.
that you guys meet next week, but when's your next meeting?
Well, the meetings are Tuesday nights, every other Tuesday. Of course, this month there's just one, I think. So it'd be into December, and then you'd be to next year.
So maybe waiting till next year? Or will it?
Well, you have approval already from TC, so why would we not do it next month?
Well, there were people in the audience, well, I think because.
Yeah, and there was a member of the TC too, who wanted to, there were two members of the TC. Wanted more information.
Okay.
But what I'll do is when you folks, you could look at the schedule, or I could shoot you the schedule. If you pick a Tuesday night that works for you.
Yeah, I just need, it's been like, can you come next week? I'm like. no.
Oh, yeah, gotcha, okay,
yeah.
so I'll shoot.
Yeah, let me
Allison,
know the
I'll
next
shoot
one.
you-
Yeah.
And, or tag both Zach and I and then
Okay,
we'll,
Um,
cause he
I'll
knows
get you the
far
dates.
more about it than I do. Perfect. So next discussion is on the neighborhood. I think I might have mentioned this. The Woodfield district is right off of Parsonage Hill Road. Anyone who hasn't seen it, which I'll be honest with you, I hadn't really paid attention. And I was invited to talk to the neighborhood about designation. That's the brochure that you have on that, and I apologize, I went to Staples and it's stapled on the wrong.
Woodfield.
That was confusing.
Yes, but Catherine was very grateful because she's left-handed, so.
Finally, something designed for me.
Something, I designed it just for her. If you haven't ever driven in this neighborhood, it has some amazing
I don't
homes in
think I
it.
have, but are all these houses,
Yeah.
Estate sale last
There's some
summer.
are they
really
mostly
beautiful.
still there?
Almost all of them are still
So
there.
many.
The originals. So,
I like the price range.
uh,
52K to 85K.
so let me tell you the most amazing discovery. I also gave you a map, so it kind of shows you where it was. If you can read the fine print, I highlighted or I tried to. Now, and you also notice it says J. Taylor, right? So as we started digging in, I wanted to be prepared for this coffee to talk about historic. The Historic Society had an amazing discovery that they never knew where the Taylor House was. The one that gave the park. So that second sheet that you have there, if you can read it, but I found it interesting. On the second floor was the master bedroom with the bath, the lounge, servants' quarters. The third floor, it has a gymnasium. I mean, this house was humongous, and chances are that Mrs. Taylor, after Mr. Taylor passed away, she was in this house. The whole property was hers from the map. She sold it to this Mr. Bowers. They tried to sell the house on its own, but it was probably during some depression, something happened during that period of time. It was too big, nobody wanted to take that on, so the house was eventually demolished. She moved away, I think she lives in Kansas, or she did move to Kansas, or somewhere like that, and sold this property. Now, the Bowers, Philip J. Bowers, was a real estate developer. And he, to this day, this business is still in existence. So, and it went down from family member to family member to family. So this is pretty interesting. It was amazing discovery. So what I'm asking, and they got the neighborhood together, the original neighborhood, and they put a petition together, which this is a first for us because we're usually trying to designate properties. And so when they brought the petition to us, then we needed to do a more in-depth study. So what I'd like to do is take a vote today to have Barton actually justify everything that's written here and put it in one packet. So they can, the neighborhood then can present it to the TC.
But he's preparing a nomination report.
He's preparing a nomination report, but if we don't really have, we just have to show that, yes, in a period of time, historically significant. It's not driven by us, this is driven by the neighborhood.
Right, so you actually said, so is there a standard that we have to meet? Either from Secretary of the Interior, the town committee, like what is the standard we apply to decide whether or to recommend to the TC that this is, and it sort of seems that way in its face.
Yeah.
is there just some standard we have to say, like, it's whatever, historically significant, or like, is there any language anywhere that says this is what the standard we have to meet to designate something as historic?
Right. I think that's what the neighborhood's asking right now, is they believe it's historic, and they're asking for us to do a deep dive to prove that this is significant in our town. And usually there's documentation, whether it's at the state level or in our local society. We didn't do a huge deep dive. This was easy to find. And we already are going, wow, this is kind of like a diamond here. That was probably mentioned in the original, properties that we needed to, they were formed communities. We do know some of the architects, because people brought documentation that we know there might be a Mueller house in there that is also in the Nottingham district. So what they did is they also, this Bowers recruited famous architects, and it's kind of like a hidden gem. So we don't know a lot about it yet.
Yeah.
But we will with Barton's report.
So, and the ordinance actually does list specific criteria.
Yeah.
So one or more following attributes, the character, interest, or value as part of the development, heritage, or cultural characteristics of the township, state, or nation, or association with events that have made significant contribution to the broad patterns of our history, or association with the lives of persons significant in our past, or embodiment of the distinctive characteristics of a type, period, or method of construction, architecture, or engineering, or identification with the work of a builder, designer, artist, architect, or landscape architect whose work has influenced the development of the township, state, or nation, or embodiment of elements of design, detail, material, or craftsmanship that render an improvement architecturally significant or structurally innovative, unique location or singular physical characteristics that make a district or landmark an established or familiar visual feature, or the ability or potential ability to yield information important to prehistory or history. So any one of those.
So Andy,
I say that neighborhood hits it right on all
Yeah.
of those. I mean,
Oh,
just
sure it
walking
does.
through it
Yeah.
cohesively.
How many
I mean,
houses
that's
are in the
like-
neighborhood?
I think there are 50,
What is that?
54.
How many of the residents are interested in applying for this?
I think there's 40 something on the petition. And that doesn't mean that, people aren't interested, either they weren't, located or they weren't available for the petition. So again, that would be a legal procedure down the road. But first of all, for us, it was about trying to figure out if this was something historically significant. And again, this is driven by the actual community itself. As I guess houses were starting to come in and people were tearing down some significant homes. So this is what drove, I think, the neighborhood to kind of protest that. So if we could tonight, I'd like at least, it's like a report again for Barton, and certainly we will be in the loop, but because this is driven by the community, they have the option to push this forward directly to the TC.
So what steps do they go through now that the residents has requested for it? Now Barton goes through the review, submits it, then what are the sequence of events that happens before this becomes historic?
Then I think, do you know, this is very rare. I think it's only happened 2 other times in our state where a neighborhood has actually come together. So
unfortunately, your ordinance actually, it's a little bit inconsistent. So the ordinance says that neighbors can recommend, but only the town council or this commission can push forward with the actual, the actual application for designation. So, one or the other has to say, okay, we want to designate this. So they do the nomination report for the historic district, and then there's a review, there's notification, public hearing, public reports. You know, so it-
So is
it's,
that, so do
A public
we have the
meeting.
ability to do that, or does the township committee actually have it?
so this says the commission has the right to push forward with the nomination report for the historic landmark or district.
But it would go
That's a
to the
nomination.
TC.
We
Yeah.
recommend to the town.
So essentially, this would be the nomination step.
Yeah, getting a report together.
It's
Or
like,
is this the step to get the report first before we nominate?
Well, I don't know that we,
But we have to meet that standard.
Yeah.
right? We have to
Yeah,
meet the standard.
yeah.
So
So then
Margaret
this
would
is the
help
step
us
to get the
understand if
report.
we meet the
Yes.
standard.
right,
It sounds
This is
like
the step to get the report.
residents could go
Right.
directly to the
but
township
the
committee.
residents could go, exactly what he said,
But
could
I
go
think why
directly.
would the township committee, I would think, can answer, but I would think the township committee would care about what we thought.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't speak for all 5 people or the new people, right?
Right.
Either, or potentially new people. But, yeah, I think the TC, at least in my mind, would want this board to look at it and say that, because you're the experts, you know, the real experts in the historic stuff.
But she
This is
also
something we
says
gotta do.
only we can recommend, even though the residents ask for it.
Well, no,
Looks
so
like the
the re-
ordinance.
The residents could go to like the town the.
Oh, okay.
They can go and request it, but they can't just do a nomination themselves.
Themselves.
Yeah.
But the
So-
nomination also has to go to the state, like, we're not, like, we're doing a report.
well, it's locally designated.
But once it's,
Yeah.
be locally
Very
designated.
smart.
Okay.
Oh, it just gets locally designated and then state has to approve it, or
No.
how does that work?
They're not.
It's just
Oh, they're
local
not-
designated.
just local.
It's not a full on.
Okay, we're not doing
No.
that. Right.
So,
And then just a question, are they funding
National
towards
Register.
the report, or how does that work?
well, basically, it's just, no, I mean, it's identifying, right? And it is a historic resource.
But when we recommend him to write the report,
Somebody's gotta pay 'em.
yeah, who's
Yeah.
paying? Is
Well,
that where we come in, that we're?
yeah,
we're
that
funding him?
is our job.
Yeah.
I mean, our job is to locate
Right.
these or
So we're
assess
paying
or-
his-
yeah.
Okay,
And again, I
That
think
becomes more.
what drove this even more is how quickly some of this information came across. So how can we not support the neighbors in kind of moving forward on this?
Yeah.
So, that's really what I'm asking for, is to let Barton move forward on this. I think it's amazing what I've read, and I gave you what I had.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
those like levels of historical parts of this could be where the Taylors are from, like that's just in itself, the, so like historical significance.
and the
you know?
fact that they never knew where this Mrs. Taylor's house
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Just
that's
crazy.
Cause they own so much land,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
never knew where that house stood.
It's
We're
So-
not
not
just
technically,
frightened.
it's not technically part of Old Short Hills, right? Is it, or is it attached to Old Short Hills, like the, is this the Goodwood Field area, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know, I'm just
That's-
asking,
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
little
yeah.
still literate, I'm
Yeah,
working.
no, and if you
Um,
look at the old map in here, it's kind of cool. I mean,
It's very
there was
windy.
nothing.
I love running,
in
it's
front.
such a beautiful area and like just, I mean,
Yeah.
all those houses have those like amazing leaded glass windows or I mean, some of the brickwork and the mortar work on some of those houses, I mean, mixed with the Tudors, I mean, it's pretty amazing area. It's, you know, and all the lot sizes are really beautiful and
That's the biggest thing I've noticed is how large the lots, and they're,
Yeah.
like, they haven't subdivided it out.
they didn't put,
everything.
and Bodak hasn't built a house there yet. With the
And
flat roof.
There
Yeah.
actually are a few houses,
So-
there, some that you call it
It's
purchased
really beautiful.
the house, the infill house, and torn it down, because they wanted more land. So this neighborhood, it's funny, because the brochures that you see, they were great marketers, this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
Do you remember the date of that house, that document?
I think it's 1924 is what I thought I saw.
It's something,
there.
because they talk about the Lackawanna train being electrified in 1930.
Yeah,
And it only
But-
took 35 minutes. to
Look
get the
at
whole
this
book.
map.
Better than it
So-
is now.
It's like
Still
4 times
Barton,
faster than today.
Powers,
No.
If you guys look at this map,
And in
If the
nineteen
train's
twenty-seven,
right,
gave it to
that's how
World
broken down.
Woodfield Short Hills.
No.
So this must be like late 1920s.
Good time for development.
East Hartshorn.
Yeah, yeah,
so
perfect
East Hartshorn out and then just like Fox Hill Road, there's little roads that connect in, there's a couple of carriage houses like next corner.
Yeah,
That's not part of that, right?
no. This is very really distinctive, and as you can see, this original map on, I don't even know what page.
Is it one of those audio tours, walking tours of this work?
No,
I'm just curious.
I don't think
Not
so,
that I
and
know of.
that's what was so amazing, but somewhere in our documentation, it has talked about this, but I'm also not surprised because they were amazed that they finally found where the Taylor house was, so
Yeah.
it would have been off the radar
So
for some
cool.
time, which is kind of also very exciting, so, so quickly, if you don't mind, I'm not trying to rush, but we have some resolutions we just need to vote on before we leave. So I'd like to move forward and I can make the motion or someone else can make the motion. It doesn't matter. I'll make a motion that, we move forward or we have Barton move forward on a designation report for the Woodfield Short Hills Estate. Do I have a second? Elizabeth.
Second.
What is the second?
Okay.
Okay.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis.
Yes.
Robert Frank, oh, sorry. Brad Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Winga.
Yes.
Christine Best,
Yes.
Venkatesh Chatwala.
Yes.
Perfect. So real quickly, and then we'll get you out of here, we have, because of the notices and why we didn't have a meeting. Oh my gosh, my arms weren't long enough. We didn't have a meeting last month because of it, so we're gonna go through and Catherine and I will take over from here.
Okay, so, I have prepared some resolutions, I don't know, okay, I guess do I need to read them, all three?
Oh, I don't, I just think which one you're talking about and if any were changes for me, how is that?
Okay, all right, so for application 618-51 Chestnut Street, I revised what I had prepared earlier, excuse me, to reflect any additional, exhibits that were prepared tonight and add the names of the people that testified, in the whereas clauses on the first page and on the second page. I confirmed the conditions of approval, with a comment that although colors are not, you can't make a decision about colors, there is an encouragement to select color schemes that are compatible with neighborhood. And that the bulk of the work in the rear of it should happen at the rear of the house, so that's staying. Architectural construction documents need to be submitted. That's also a condition of approval. And then if there's any changes that they want to make to the project, they need to submit. And if it's minor, then it can go through the two members of the commission to collaborate to discuss the minor changes, otherwise it will need to come back. Otherwise, it's substantially the same as provided earlier.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion, on application number 618, the resolution of memorialization, as Catherine just stated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis,
Yes.
Brad Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Winga,
Yes.
Christine Best.
I didn't see the things you want me to, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds good to me, because I saw the thing, I mean, no, I actually read the documents, so I
Okay.
mean, so I'm fine with that one, yes.
Venkatesh Chalavada.
Yes.
Okay, application 619 is essentially the same as prepared earlier. Just confirming that Matthew Rosenbaum was the party that testified tonight. I added in that he confirmed that the materials will mimic the existing materials on the house. That the pickleball court is more of an outdoor sports platform that may include a basketball hoop. Sound mitigation has been discussed with neighbors. And the neighbors were advised about the pickleball court that is sort of more of an outdoor sports platform. They've agreed, the applicant has agreed to noise reducing paddles and a specific type of ball that has less sound. And the outdoor sports platform will be located at the rear of their property. There will be no lighting, so it will only be used during the daytime, and stormwater management will be addressed with the engineering department through permitting. He also confirmed that the sound from the television in the, is it loggia? Will be deadened by the solid wall that it's mounted on, and the sound bar will be directed toward the courtyard. Conditions are listed that all exterior finished material selections will match the existing residential structure. Additional landscape plantings to be included to minimize visibility from adjacent properties and provide additional layering element. Pickleball court has to be located deeper in the rear yard, which they agreed to. Proposed exterior renovations to be at the rear of the house and in keeping with the architectural style of the existing residence. And that they must take the noise mitigation steps to make sure that the neighbors aren't disturbed or disturbed as little as possible. And then all the other standard conditions.
Did that include construction drawings? Because I don't think we had those.
Yes, so that, yeah, it does include.
Perfect. Great, so I'd like to make a motion for application number 619, the resolution of memorialization with all of the changes made from Catherine that we just heard. Do I have a second? One more, guys, bear with us.
No one. All right, and applications.
Oh, yes, oh, sorry. Oh, my gosh, okay.
Allison Canfield.
Yes.
Zachary Davis.
Yes.
Brad Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Elizabeth Benga.
Yes.
Venkatesh, Christine wasn't here for the, are you?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about one.
Venkatesh Chalavada.
Yes.
Last one.
All right, application 620 for 67 Myrtle Avenue is essentially the same. It was revised, as provided earlier, it was revised to reflect who testified. And that. I updated it to add an additional paragraph outlining the 4 additional exhibits that were provided tonight. And it includes conditions that the applicant provides site drawings indicating how the 2-car garage pavement will be expanded and what landscaping is to be used to mitigate its appearance, reduce the, the roof above the, my notes
Garage.
Yeah, it was the roof above the garages. They were going to do standing steel aluminum in a lighter color. Sorry?
Standing seam.
Yeah, standing,
Oh, I thought you said stand.
I'm sorry, I meant standing seam.
Okay.
Sorry, okay, again, although paint colors are not reviewed by the commission, they're encouraged to select color schemes that are compatible. Architectural construction documents are to be submitted to the commission. And then if there are changes, to the project. If they're minor, they can go to 2 members of the commission, otherwise they have to.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve application number 620, resolution of memorialization. Do I have a second?
Second.
Allison Campfield,
Yes.
Zachary Davis,
Yes?
Brad Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Rosen,
Yes.
Elizabeth Winga,
Yes.
Venkatesh Chatlavada.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Is there a way we can retract only to get 11 by 17 and not these method drawings?
We could.
You can.
I like the mouse and drawings.
What?
You can fit
I like
some
the
of
mouse and
drawings
drawings.
in
I never
there.
liked the eyeballs.
So just wanna make sure that we're.
It's like- it's hard to
I'm
understand.
so sorry. Okay, just checking my notes.
Nice if I.
You don't even, there's no deception.
No, I don't mind.
There's no deception. Like.
This concludes our meeting this evening, so I move to adjourn. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Back and out.